Hey, good Saturday morning, everybody. Let's talk about our winter storm that's heading our way. Now, for a lot of us, at least half, this is going to be just a miserable cold rain. For some of us, it's going to be a little bit of ice. And for very few, it's going to be a select up in the mountains and foothills where this is a legit winter storm with a little bit of ice, snow, and sleet all mixed in, kind of the worst of everything. So this was the latest advisory update. So obviously, we've got winter storm warnings now in effect for all of the mountain counties, including the foothills, Burke, Caldwell, Alexander, Wilkes, North. And we've got some winter weather advisories. A couple counties were added from the watch yesterday, which I kind of expected. We saw Rowan County, Lincoln County, and Cleveland County. Remember, the reason those counties were added is because the northern parts of those counties were going to be impacted. The whole county won't be seeing the same thing. So here's a look at the system. You can see it off to the west. So still no issues today during the day. We're going to stay dry until tonight. What's happening is we've got high pressure to the north, which is pumping in some cold, dry air. And I'll throw the temperatures up here in a minute. That shows that cold air being pushed down into the Carolinas. So this big area of high pressure is really chilling us off right now. And these high clouds aren't exactly going to allow us to warm up much today. So temperatures are probably going to stay in the low to mid 40s most of the day. Those are the air temperatures. The dew points are in the single digits and teens. And why are dew points important in this setup? Because we're going to have some evaporative cooling. So as this first batch of moisture moves in, it's going to cause some cooling, and that's going to reduce the temperature close to freezing in some locations. Now, because this high pressure system up here is what we call transient, it's moving away at the same time, there's only a certain amount of cold air here. So once it gets used up, it's going to change the rain pretty quickly. In our bigger winter storms or ice events or stuff like that, we typically have a much bigger pool of cold air, or we have a constant supply to keep adding to it. So as this system approaches from the west, it's eventually going to run out of cold air at the surface. And because it's also tracking so far to the north, a lot of folks are wondering, why aren't we getting more winter weather? The track is up in here. It's not down in here where you really want it. This is more of a snow track south. This is more of an icy mess. And if it goes even further north, it becomes all rain. That's why we're not seeing the setup that we have in other locations further to the north. So let's go back and look at the setup for this. I'm going to show you Futurecast here. And you can see the setup as we go into tomorrow afternoon. I don't know why that stopped there. Let me go back and see if we can get this to play. Had to go hit the button. So this is a Futurecast. We'll go through time. Oh, let me leave that right there. We'll go through time. And you can see today we've got that east wind. Little band of moisture tries to move in from the west here around 5 o'clock. Wouldn't be surprised to see a few sleet pellets or some snow in there, but a lot of that's going to be evaporated before reaching the surface. But there could be a quick shot of sleet or snow in the mountains with that passing. Again, impact's pretty minimal. The bigger impacts come in tonight. So here's after midnight. I'm going to stop this around 3 in the morning because I think that's when we really start to see the first batches of moisture. Notice solid snow in the mountains and foothills. This is where I said the select few that are going to get primarily a winter event. It's right in here. That's the area with the highest chance of snow, sleet that will persist long enough to cause some accumulation. Anyone around Charlotte, please do not think you're getting snow. If you see some flakes falling from the sky, that's going to be about it, and it probably will happen just briefly. It's really a rain event. This is not a winter weather event for many areas south. You can see as we go through time, that's all rain. It's a cold rain tomorrow morning, but that rain, snow, sleet mix is basically Interstate 40 north. And you can see it lasting through mid-morning. But even up there, the warm air is going to win out because we've got a big surge of southerly winds. You can see the arrows here pointing from the south. Look at some of these temperatures soaring to almost 50 degrees. That cold air is running out. Like I said, the high pressure isn't constantly supplying it. Our flow of air is now coming from the southeast. And up here, it's coming from the east a little bit. But there's no what we call barrier jet, which would be a constant supply of low-level cold air to keep this a winter storm. It eventually changes just all cold rain. Now this thing's going to crank up on the coast and start to pull away Sunday night, and it will wrap cold air back in from the northwest, which means we will see a changeover to snow again in the mountains, and then we'll see a northwest flow snow event. And even on Monday morning, there could be some lingering showers across the Piedmont. I wouldn't be shocked if one or two of these has some sleet or snow in it, but again, no accumulation because look at the temperatures hovering generally in the 30s and 40s. So let's take a look at the ice totals. Again, this to me is what makes this storm more dangerous. The snow event is not really out of the ordinary, but you throw some of this ice on here, especially right in here. I mean, we could see 1/10 of an inch of ice from basically Asheville to Greensboro. And then right in here, I'm actually hoping it stays snow. If you get more snow, it reduces the ice chance. Any mixing, though, lowers everything. So those are the areas of greatest concern for icing. And again, snow amounts, again, not a huge snow event until you get right in here. A lot of this is barely going to be on the ground. You may not even notice it. It's going to be sleet or snow that accumulates briefly. And again, zero accumulations around Charlotte. You're going to have to go north to see anything. So travel-wise, the bigger concern here is going to be right in here where we're going to have the crossover of ice, snow, and sleet for several hours early Sunday morning. So I do caution people, travel in this area in yellow will be treacherous tomorrow morning. Now, it won't last all day. By the time we get to early to mid-afternoon, you saw everything changing to rain. Road conditions should improve pretty quickly. They could go back downhill, though, as we go into Sunday night as temperatures drop back below the freezing mark. So let me show you how this system unfolds, because it will be a big nor'easter for areas up to our north and northeast. You see the system, it's pretty large. I mean, look at it moving in, and you could see the areas, again, confined to the mountains and foothills where we have the wintry weather, just a miserable cold rain across the southern Piedmont. But this thing is going to crank up on the coast. Once it gets to the coast, this could be a formidable nor'easter. It's going to really develop pretty quickly as it heads off to the east. So once it gets to the coast right here, Outer Banks, just a heads up, there could be some really strong winds and likely some coastal flooding, maybe even some beach erosion as this thing cranks up. Because as it moves towards the coast, it's going to become a full-fledged low-pressure system as it cranks up and then moves up towards New England. That's why you're seeing some of these snow forecasts that are coming out of here that are pretty high because of the potential of that really heavy snow. In fact, I'm going to turn all the advisories on here, and we should be able to see all the winter storm warnings that are in effect just to our north. So you can see as this thing develops, watch the low crank up right near the Outer Banks out in here. So this is basically Sunday evening around 8 o'clock. So just a heads up on the coast, this could be pretty gusty winds. I mean, gale type winds, really high waves. It's going to be a potent system. And then you see the moisture wrapping around all the way on the backside. This is that second wave of moisture that's going to move into the mountains Sunday night and Monday, and why we're going to see maybe another round of snow showers and maybe even rain showers. There's all the winter storm warnings you can see that extend all the way up into the northeast. So this thing is really going to have the potential to produce a lot of snow in areas to the north and east of us. I'm going to turn those off for a second, and we'll show you this thing evolving. Just an impressive system overall. And you can see the upper system back here over Ohio really producing some good snow as it moves out. But look at this thing. This is going to be cranking up. And you see, this is Monday morning at 1 o'clock, or 7 o'clock, Monday morning, the next batch of moisture. And again, that snow moving through parts of the Ohio Valley. So this is going to be a potent system. So if you do have any travel plans north and east, just know that this is going to cause a lot of issues up and down the entire East Coast. So we'll do updates tonight if I see anything changing. But again, there's a quick look at the snowfall map and the ice map right now. And again, ice is probably going to be our biggest concern.